For the past 6 months, I've worked overnight security at Crestwood Galleria, a dying mall in a dying part of town. You know the type. One anchor store left, maybe 3 food court stalls still open. The rest a graveyard of shuttered gates and sun-bleached posters for sales that never happened. Most nights, nothing happens. I patrol the perimeter, drink gas station coffee, and scroll through dead camera feeds, trying not to nod off before sunrise. When I first took the job, I figured the worst I'd deal with was junkies trying to sleep in the service stairwells or teenagers daring each other to sneak in after hours. But there's something wrong with this place, something that only wakes up when the lights go off and the doors are locked. I didn't notice it at first. The job was slow and boring, just the way I liked it. I'd do a lap around the mall at the top of every hour, check the gates, peek into empty storefronts. Sometimes I'd scare off some bored teenagers, sometimes not even that. But one night, maybe 3 weeks in, I noticed a light on inside one of the closed shops. It was an old-fashioned boutique, hadn't been open in over a year. The gate was still down, padlocked, but the fluorescents were flickering inside like someone had just flipped the switch. I stood there watching it for a minute, trying to decide if I'd forgotten to report a maintenance issue. Then, just as suddenly, the lights shut off. Not flickered, not dimmed, just off. I chalked it up to a faulty timer or a wiring glitch, told myself not to worry. But then it happened again. Different night, different store. This time, it was a toy shop. Same deal, lights on, gate locked, no one inside. I walked up to it, shined my flashlight between the slats. Nothing moved, no sound. I jiggled the gate, just to be sure. Still locked. Then I heard it. A soft click, like a switch being flipped. I turned my head fast enough to pop my neck. The boutique's lights, same one from a few weeks earlier, had come on again. I stared at it from across the mall, maybe 50 feet away. I swear I saw a shadow move behind the counter. Just a flicker, like someone ducking down out of sight. I walked over. My heart was thudding, but I kept my pace calm. I don't know why, I guess part of me didn't want to scare it, or be scared by it. When I reached the store, the lights were still on. The inside looked undisturbed. Shelves covered in dust, mannequins dressed in last season's clothes. The counter was empty, but something felt off. Like the air had pressure to it. Like I wasn't alone. I called out, "If you're in there, this is private property. You can walk out with me or I call the cops." No answer. Then the lights turned off. Just click, and it was dark again. I spun around, nothing behind me. But when I turned back, I saw something that made my skin crawl. A mannequin had moved. It was facing the entrance now, hand outstretched toward the gate. I couldn't remember if it was posed like that before. I told myself it must have been. I left fast and didn't look back. For a while after that, things went quiet. I almost convinced myself it had been the sleep deprivation. Or boredom, or both. But then winter hit. Management had me inspecting some of the pipes near the loading docks to make sure they didn't freeze. I was inside the mall one night, walking past the public restrooms, when I heard a toilet flush. I froze. It was almost 4 a.m. I hadn't seen anyone on the cameras for over an hour. I pulled my flashlight, walked in. The bathroom was empty. I checked the stalls. Nothing. No shoes, no bags, no sound. Just as I was about to leave, I felt it. That feeling like you're being watched. I turned around, slowly. And that's when I saw a pair of bare feet under the last stall. Just standing there, not moving, not shuffling, just there. I took a step forward, heart racing. "Mall's closed," I said. "You need to come out." No answer. I crouched down, angled my flashlight. There were no legs, just the feet. Like someone had placed them there. I kicked the stall door open, and it was empty. But the feet were still there. I blinked, and they were gone. No sound, no splash, no footfalls, just gone. I left the bathroom and called it a night. I couldn't explain what I saw. I didn't want to. The next few nights, I avoided the restrooms. Then came the night the carousel turned on. The mall used to have a carousel in the center court. Hasn't worked in years. Cord was cut, motor removed, everything gutted. But around 2:30 a.m., I saw light on the monitors. The damn thing was spinning. Every horse was lit up like a carnival, lights blinking, music playing. Only, it was wrong. The music was broken. Notes out of tune, skipping, like it was being played backward. The horses moved too fast. jerking like they were going to snap off the poles. I ran to the court, but when I got there it was dark, silent, still, but wet footprints, bare, led away from the base. I followed them. They went up the escalator, and then just stopped, like whoever made them had vanished. I checked every camera, every feed. Nothing showed up, just a blur of static where the footprints should have been. The last thing that happened, the thing that made me quit, was just a few weeks ago. It was a slow night, cold. I'd taken up a spot near the food court to warm up with a space heater. The monitors were quiet. Then I heard a sound, not over the speakers, not from my radio, but inside my head. A carousel note. 1. Sharp. Like it had been plucked from my memory and dropped right into the silence. I stood up, disoriented, and saw that the gate to the haunted house attraction, an old Halloween pop-up store turned permanent storage, was open. I never leave that thing unlocked. I stepped inside. The air was thick, like a fog had rolled in. I couldn't see far, but I knew something was wrong. The mannequins used for display were standing in a circle now, all of them facing inward. I walked toward the center. There, lying in the middle of them, was a walkie-talkie. Not mine, still crackling. Through the static I heard a voice, my own voice, repeating the same sentence over and over. Don't turn around, don't turn around, don't... I turned around, nothing there. But the mannequins had moved. They were all facing me. One had something in its hand, my missing flashlight. I don't remember leaving the mall. I woke up in my car outside, keys in the ignition, shift almost over. My phone was dead. The last image on the dash cam? Static. When I handed in my badge the next morning, the supervisor barely looked surprised. Said, "Yeah, most people don't last more than a few months." I asked him what that meant. He said, "The night shift changes people." I didn't ask for more. Sometimes I drive past the mall. All the gates are down, all the lights off, except for one. The carousel still spins sometimes, and if you look real close, you'll see the bare footprints circling it.